anxiety is like the cousin of fear. Kind of go hand in hand because a lot of people get anxiety confused with fear itself.
You just got to jump out there, man, for real, for real. Like, stop trying to worry about perfection because no matter how great something becomes, it's never going to be perfect. So you might as well get started. It's not about perfection. It's about progression.
I understand standing on top of that mountain and you looking at the pit at the bottom. Everything in your body is telling you to stay still. Don't do nothing. But if you just have faith in yourself, have faith in your vision, have faith in your talent, jump. Because you'll find out you have wings, man. You can fly.
Right.
If you choose to believe it enough. If you have a plan, right? Or an idea, or just anything in general that you've told yourself you want to do to better your life, why haven't you done it yet? Now, I've asked a lot of people this question, and I've gotten many different answers. Many. But you want to know what the common denominator was out of all of those responses that I've gotten? Fear. Whether it's fear of rejection, whether it's fear of change, whether it's fear of commitment, either way, it's so many people that have let this one emotion control their entire life in a lot of ways. I go by Wills. It's the homie Matt. It's the Matt and Will show.
You dig?
Let's talk about it. Man, how you living today, brother?
Man, I'm good, man. How about yourself?
Man, I'm blessed, bro. I'm blessed. I'm actually going to use this opportunity to give you your flowers and also use you as an example here, if you don't mind.
For sure.
All right. So outside of what we got going on, you know, you've developed a respectable and huge platform, the Highest Point podcast, where you've, you know, interviewed a lot of prominent individuals, whether they famous, millionaires. I've done my research, brother.
Yeah.
Upcoming artists, including myself.
For sure.
Be sure to check that episode out on this platform as
Fire
well.
one.
Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
You know, you've been doing this for years, right?
Yes, sir.
When you started in the beginning, how much of an effect fear had in what you were trying to do, if you don't mind me asking?
How much fear had an effect on what I was trying to do?
Yeah.
Honestly, man, I don't recall having fear. I recall just having like anxiousness
Okay.
to get started. And what called me, I would procrastinate a little bit because initially you had a thought like, yo, I'm going to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Then the next hardest step is, you know, getting started, actually putting that thought to action.
Okay.
So, you know, one day I just said, F it. Like, I'm going to just start. Like, I had the conversation with one of my homies that started off the show with me, Toby.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I talked to him like a month before talking about it. Then I just did my due diligence. I went and found a studio, did all this stuff like that.
Yeah.
I called him a week before launch. I'm like, yo, pull up to the studio. We're going to start the pod. He like, what? Like, yo, I got everything set up. Pull up. So, and that's kind of how it started. But, you know, I did have like anxiousness. It's like, okay, how am I going to get started doing this thing? I can't say there was fear, but there was that, you know, you had a little bit of procrastination at first.
Well, if you think about it, man, like I feel like anxiety is like the cousin of fear. Because it's like it kind of go hand in hand because a lot of people get anxiety confused with fear itself.
Right.
And I'm glad you said what you said. You said that you had anxiety and, you know, just beginning to like plan it. And then there was a part of the process where you just said, fuck it.
For sure.
And you just did it. And I think a lot of people who have these ideas and things that they want to do with their life, that's where they stop at. It's like they get the plan, they form it up, and then when it's time to execute, they let that anxiety or fear, whatever you would like to call it,
Right.
stop them from doing it.
Analysis paralysis.
Oh, man.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
A lot of times you get so caught up in, okay, I got to have it like this. I got to start off perfect. It got to be like this before I even do anything, before I
Yeah.
put my name behind it. And it don't got to be like that.
Not at all.
You got to get over yourself. Like, yo, when you look back at really any successful platform, they start off kind of trash.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Nah,
Like,
trust me, brother. I've been rapping for years, dog. I would be embarrassed if I played my first song I ever made in my life.
right.
You know? It's like this, man. If this isn't a clear example of what I'm trying to get across, there was a point where my man's was, including myself and what I'm doing myself outside of this, but it was a point where he had a choice to make where it was, do I let the anxiety or the concern stop me from doing it? And he chose not to. And if you pay attention and you look at how far he's came because of it, you have to do this. I heard a great quote, and it's very simple and sweet, to the point. Success is on the other side of fear. If you just overcome what you're feeling, the anxiety, like he said, you know, the nervousness or just the excuses that you give yourself for why you don't do it, and you just overcome that. Any level of success, whatever that may be, everybody have their different examples or idea of what success is. Whatever that is, if you overcome that fear, it's on the other side of it.
Yeah.
And it's not easy. You know, I'm not sitting here expecting you to just jump straight to it and feel like it's going to be a breeze. It's not going to be a breeze. Anything that you want that's meaningful for your life is not going to be easy. That's the whole point of it. You know, you got to go through certain things, even in the process, to become who you need to be to get it, and not only get it, but sustain it and keep it going.
Yeah. 100%.
So yeah. So you can't let fear stop you from doing that. And I see a lot of people doing that, man.
Yeah, man. You just got to jump out there, man, for real. Like, stop trying to worry about perfection, because no matter how great something become, it's never going to be perfect. So you might as well get started. It's not about perfection. It's about progression.
Yeah.
That's what I go off of. For like, yo, if I can look back and see like, yo, I done came so far, I'm going in the right direction. I wasn't going down. I wasn't going backwards. And it don't even have to be large leaps and bounds.
Yeah.
Any little form of progression, that is progress. And that means you're going in the right direction to whatever goal that you have. You just got to put one foot in front of the other and just get the job done. Stop waiting.
And accept the roadblocks that come with that shit, man.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, don't, even if you begin and you run into something or you run into a situation that hinders what you're trying to do, don't let that be the reason why you stop. If anything, let that be the reason why you keep going.
Absolutely.
You know, because I've had, like I said, you know, I've been rapping for over 10 years. This shit didn't start making sense. And I said this on our episode, man. This shit didn't start making sense for a few years ago.
Yeah.
And I've lost a lot. I've gained a lot because I kept going. And I've also lost people that was in the journey with me from fear. Because a lot of people, and you see that, you know, when you going through the journey, or when you in the journey and you got certain people around you and you start to get closer and closer to what you're trying to do, you realize the people who aren't on the same page as you. And I lost them to the anxiety or the fear of what's next in the next step. And I had to ask myself, even in that situation, what am I going to do? Am I going to let what that person let fear or anxiety do to them affect me? And I just kept going, you know, and that's something that's very important to acknowledge. Like, if you let this emotion control your whole life, at a certain point, you're going to get older, and you're going to develop what I call the worst kind of cancer you can have, because you're still living with it. I didn't even have to say it. You know what I'm saying? I feel like regret doesn't kill you, but it eats at you very slowly. It's like a tumor. And you don't want to be that person that is at a certain age and you're telling yourself, I wish I would have did this. or I wish I could have did that, and it's too late to do it.
Right.
You know, like there are things in my life that I do regret, but it's not anything that I haven't done to try to better my life.
Absolutely.
You know, it's you really have one chance at trying to make something out of your life, whatever it may be. This is not a video game, people. This ain't Mario. You don't get 3 mans or 3 lives and shit. Like, there's no reset button.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you let fear stop you from doing this, you're going to get to a certain age and you're going to hate yourself for it.
Yeah, for real, man. And then you got to realize as well, once you get past that fear, sometimes that fear still going to come back on your travels because your journey is still going.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing about it is I have this goal. I started off rapping as well,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't finish off rapping.
Yeah.
I still do a little bit on the side, very seldom. But if I didn't do the rapping, do the traveling, doing the shows across these different countries,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't have gained the confidence and the know-how to deal with other people in these, like you were talking about, those stars, those millionaires.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have had the know-how, the confidence to have a conversation with them to bring them on a platform like mine. They can tell that, okay, something about this gentleman, he's been through something.
Yeah.
He done put in his 10,000 hours somewhere.
Man hours.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So, even if you start off and that's not, okay, I had this dream of rapping, but without that, I wouldn't have been able to pivot to do what I'm doing now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, agree.
You never know where it's going to take you if you just start. But, that don't have to be your end point either. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think I get your point. Sometimes the journey takes you in different directions, but you will never know this if you don't begin the journey at all.
Right.
Like a lot of people miss their blessings because they let this control their life, or fear of change as well. Like, most importantly, like a lot of people get so comfortable in their situation and the position that they're in, good and bad, that they like freeze up when it comes to something that can drastically change that situation. And I was like that for a while, you know what I'm saying? And I had to realize, like, okay, and hopefully my theory can relate to you in some kind of way. Hopefully you can get something from it. I had to tell myself, like, I know what comes with every aspect of my life right now. The good, the bad, the ugly, the people in it, how they are. I know everything that comes with this. None of this shit is changing. So why not try to do something different? In worst case scenario, God forbid it don't work out for me, right? I know what I'm coming back to. This shit ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, so instead of just settling for it, let me try to do something different. And if it works out for me, great. Now I'm able to do what I need to do and do what I want to do with my life. But if it don't work out, then I know what I'm coming back to. I know what I have to expect and deal with. And I don't have to live with the regret of me being too scared to try to make it happen.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, don't be scared of change.
Yeah.
Don't settle for a life that you feel like you're meant for more than, if that, and I'm probably wording that wrong, but you get my point. Like, don't settle for a life that isn't your end all.
Yeah, you're worth more than what you got.
Yes.
Like, I know I'm worth more than what I got right now, because that's why I have goals to get to somewhere where I feel I'm deserving.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I'm steady working and working, trying to get to where I know I belong. But, also in this journey, you got to embrace the different relationships, and you'll never find those different relationships with these people unless you try something different. If you stay doing the same thing, you're going to keep that same circle.
Facts.
But, as I've gone through my journey, I had opportunity to develop great relationships with different people that can show me different things. You know what I'm saying? Also, I can bring into the fold in different things.
Yeah.
You and I would have never met. We built that relationship
Facts.
through going through that journey.
Agreed.
If you never started rapping, I never started doing this, we would have never have this show.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
It's like it's something totally different, nothing expected, just based off the relationship that was built.
Agree, bro. Agree. And that's how, man, that's how God works, man. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I'm not trying to get too religious here, but it's like, you know, he will test you. That fear that you feeling when it's time to make that choice and make that decision, he's putting that in you for a reason, because he want to see what you're gonna do. You know, he want to see if you're going to be brave enough or not, or even have enough faith in yourself. Not only just him to make that leap.
Right.
Like, don't be scared. I understand and accept everything that comes with it. Don't tell yourself that, and you know, we kind of spoke on this earlier. Don't tell yourself that what you run into or the problems that comes with taking that leap is why you should stop. No, no. That needs to be the fuel for you to keep going
100%.
and keep pushing through it, because you never know where it's going to lead you. You know, you might start off bad, you might start off rough, but if you keep going, then you can be in a position where you're having conversations with millionaires.
Mm-hmm.
You're having conversations with famous people. Like, and I wanted to use my bro as an example, because it's like he is literally, you know, the example of that, you know, of overcoming. He called it anxiety. I'm gonna call it fear, because they hand in hand. He's an example of that. I am an example of that.
For sure.
So this isn't people trying to tell you or give you advice on something that they haven't had to personally work through and live with. So for anybody, and also, if you have an example outside of what we got going on, where you had situations that you had to face, or you had a plan that you were scared to execute, and you just said you had that fuck it moment, and it's starting to work out for you, like, leave that in the comments.
Yeah.
You know, so people that are watching this, they can see it for themselves that, okay, it's not just these two that's talking about it. Like, there's actually other people who went through the same shit and actually made something happen for yourself.
100%.
You know, just
Yeah.
you're
I want
more.
to add a caveat to what you were saying.
Yeah.
When you're saying, don't have fear, don't be afraid.
Mhm.
My caveat is, be okay with fear.
Yeah.
Be okay with it, because everyone feels it. Just do not allow your step to be hindered. Do not make that first step. Well, what I want you to do is make that first step in spite of fear.
Of course.
It's okay to be afraid, because, you know, all these boxers that's going in here risking their lives, UFC, trust and believe they have anxiety and some fear.
Yeah.
But they don't lose confidence in themselves when they go out there. They make that first step and go out there and get the win. In sports, you have that same feeling. You get those, you know what I'm saying, that feeling in your gut, your chest.
Yeah.
That's normal. Just don't allow that to stop you. You know what I'm saying? Use it as your fuel, like Wills was just talking about. You got to learn how to use those things and make them your momentum instead of something that's holding you back. That's my point. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, we all feel it.
Yeah.
It's just we make the step in spite of the fear. You got to use it as your momentum, because
And-
beside that fear is a lot of, you know, success.
Agreed. And you have more power than you give yourself
Mhm.
credit for. Like, all of these, I mean, you know, fear is an emotion that is based off of the amount of power you choose to give it.
For sure.
It can, in my mind, fear is man-made. Like, it's really an illusion, and it only has enough. It only has the amount of power that you choose and allow it to give. I mean, that you give it.
Mhm.
So understand the power that you have. You know, not even just to kind of segue off, just speaking specifically on fear, like your emotions in general. Like,
Yeah.
a lot of people let their emotions affect or control their entire life too. They make bad decisions off of the lack of control, or the lack of control of their emotions, and just not understanding the importance of emotional intelligence. And I can speak in generalities, but I really want to speak to men right now. As a man, and I'm still learning this myself, I'm 31, okay? As a man, if you learn or start the process to master your emotions, you are in complete control of your life. But as long as you don't try to practice that and you let anger, you let depression, you let fear, you let any emotion control your decisions and your actions in your life, you will never become the man that you need to be. And it's very overlooked because there's a lot of men that are in power or that gets the attention and that machine behind them to push them that has very little emotional intelligence. And just speaking in my genre, hip hop, like, because hip hop is one of the hugest commodities in the world. It influences so much. It influences so many people. And you see a lot of men that's in this lane that is a clear-cut example of what happens when you don't have the emotional maturity that you need to have.
Yeah. A lot of those are handpicked to be put in those positions.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Because they don't have the emotional intelligence. So the ones that's in charge, the ones behind those labels, they do. And they know I can use you. I can get you in some type of situation later because you're going to self-destruct. I know you're going to self-destruct, but I can get this money out of you before that happens. And also put this life insurance policy on you before this stuff happens that's going to enrich me regardless.
Yeah, agreed.
You know what I'm saying?
Nah, agreed, bro.
So you got to be aware of that for real. And emotional intelligence is so key to so much success, like self-made success.
Yeah.
Emotional intelligence is key factor.
Because the manifestation is a very real thing. You know, you if you begin the process, not even just begin, but once you get to the point where you understand certain feelings that you have and you understand the importance of having control over them, it's a lot of things that you can avoid that is like a roadblock in your life. Like myself, just in my early 20s, like I've made dumbass choices. I've made stupid decisions based off of how I felt and me not understanding why I feel them. You know, I feel like a lot of times, and I'm just going to personalize it, a lot of times when I couldn't understand what I was feeling, I substituted whatever emotion that was with ego. So I let my ego and I let my pride be like that shield from what I'm actually feeling because I didn't understand it. And that puts a lot of people, men specifically, in bad situations because when you lock into that ego and you lock into that pride, it's I'm right regardless. And I don't care what I'm dealing with, I don't care what I'm feeling, and I'm finna stand on that. But that'll put you in so many situations. Like you have to understand you have to understand what you're feeling and just dissect it. Like, you know, if you're angry, ask yourself why you're angry. Ask yourself, why am I reacting this way due to my anger? And what can change and what can be different if I just decide not to entertain this feeling that I'm feeling? You know, like sometimes you and that's what women need to see as well. Like a lot of women don't feel men is, or you know, the men that's around them is where they need to be, or they don't have respect for them because, man, we crashing out like females. Like you more emotional than a woman that you with. Yeah, and you don't know how to control your emotions, so she don't see you as the leader that you want her to see you as because you don't even have control over your own life. You don't have control over yourself. So why would she follow you and you crashing out worse than she is when she's feeling some type of way? You know, like my man said when he I don't know if that was the last episode you said this, but you were speaking on how, like, you know, sometimes I probably seen it in one of your episodes because I fuck with your shit. But I remember you saying sometimes, like, you know, when your wife is feeling some type of way or like having a moment, you have to like tell yourself that, and I'm probably paraphrasing it wrong, but you have to tell yourself like, okay, she's having a moment, and regardless of what she's making me feel like, I need to have control over myself and have that understanding that this is what she's dealing with. Like,
100%. The more you show your spouse your emotional intelligence is contagious. She's going to start learning from your leadership.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, the more okay, this is not worth an argument. You're not going to dismiss what she's saying. You're going to listen to her, let her feel like she's listened to, and then speak to her in a way where you can pivot and move on from it.
Yeah.
Instead of bickering, going back and forth. Because really, what's the purpose? What is going to get? Like, you don't get into conversation with your wife or anyone to try to win a debate. You try to get to a resolution to where both of you are satisfied. So you don't have to try to put down what they're saying. They try like, look, you need to hear what I'm coming from the most. Like, look, let me listen to you completely. I hear you and I can appreciate that. But also, this is how it looks from my end. And I think we can do this to avoid this confrontation in the future. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, learning that's getting emotional intelligence. And if you don't have emotional intelligence, that's negligence.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it was these two dudes out here. It was at a pool party. This just happened recently, or this came to light. And one of the guys, he grabbed the other, tried to throw him in the pool, but he couldn't do it because the other dude was too strong. You know what I'm saying? And he did this in front of the women, whatever. He didn't like that.
Mm.
So you know what this gentleman did? He felt embarrassed that he couldn't force this man in the pool. He felt like he was disrespected. So he went and got a gun and shot him. Where is your emotional intelligence there? That's that negligence there, because now you let a temporary emotion be a permanent impact on your life. You killed the man, and now you're going to be in prison for the rest of your life because you lacked emotional intelligence.
Over a pool party.
Over a pool party, because you felt like your ego was impacted. You felt like you were disrespected. And then not alone that, I think he killed 2 people.
This is why I said, like, a lot of times when you don't have that intelligence, you replace it with ego.
Yeah.
Because that is the most natural feeling to just settle for. You know, he probably felt some type of way, because I haven't seen this. I gotta check this out.
Yeah.
But he probably felt some type of way and did not understand what he was feeling. And he's feeling embarrassed. Which that's what it was. It's just embarrassment.
Mm-hmm.
But he wasn't mature enough, emotionally mature enough to just accept the feeling that he was feeling.
Right.
So he felt like, as a man, he had to prove a point. And that feeling right there, that allowance of letting ego replace the thought process that he should have went through to avoid that situation, got him locked up.
He gonna live with regret for the rest of his
life in a cell, bro.
You're gonna allow yourself to get to that point. It's like you gotta prove this to someone else. Like, okay, you embarrassed me, so I gotta shine on you.
Yeah.
Like, nigga, you the one that initiated it. You try. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
yeah, bro.
It's very weird behaviors, but you gotta learn how to check that stuff. And the fact that he got to that point because it went along for so long unchecked.
Mm-hmm.
So when he get to this point, it's no stopping him. You know, he didn't have no real friends around him to tell him about himself when you see little small inklings of someone not having emotional intelligence. If they're your friend, you should tell them about themselves. It's too often that we just allow our so-called friends to do wrong shit without holding them accountable.